Hello, my lovely students in 4th primary. Welcome to a new math lesson. Throughout Unit 6 lessons, اتعلمنا more about multiples and factors وكمان عرفنا ازاي to find multiples of a whole number. تفتكروا there is a relationship between multiples of a number and finding equivalent fractions؟ ده اللي احنا هنعرفه النهارده in our lesson 15 of Unit 9, which is titled Many Missing Multiples. By the end of this lesson, we will be able to explain the relationship between multiples and the equivalent fractions and how factors can help us, ازاي الفاكتورز هتساعدنا to find the missing multiples. At the beginning, تعالوا كده نفتكر مع بعض some factors and multiples وكمان نفتكر a relationship between them through the axis part. And of course, you will all know that 5 times 4 equals what? Yes, 5 times 4 equals 20. وكمان عارفين ان ال 4 وال 5 are factors of 20 وال 20 multiple of 4 وكمان ال 20 multiple of 5. ده معناه ان when we multiply the factors لما نعمل factors times each other we can find the multiple of each factor. Now as we have reviewed خلاص بعد ما راجعنا على ال relationship between the factors وال multiples, let's solve the activity which is not a multiple found on page 52 on your school book. Let's see it all together. Okay, and here in the axis part as you see here هنا مطلوب مننا to circle the number that is not multiple of the given number. في problem number 1 here we will find the multiples of 3 and we want to identify مطلوب مننا ان احنا نحدد the number that it is not multiple of 3. Of course we all know to find the multiples of 3 we will add by 3 each time أو هنبص على ال timetable أو ال multiplication fact of 3. So multiples of 3 are what? Multiples of 3 are 6. طب ليه 6؟ هو مش 3 times 2 gives me 6؟ عشان كده 6 multiple of 3. طيب وإيه كمان؟ وهلاقي إن 9 also multiple of 3 because 3 times 3 gives me 9. وكمان ال 12 multiple of 3 عشان 4 times 3 gives me 12. And also 15 multiple of 3 عشان 3 times 5 gives me 15. يبقى كل multiples of 3 أو جزء من multiples of 3 are 6, 9, 12, 15 and also 18. دلوقتي أنا متأكدة إن أنتوا كلكم لاحظتوا إن ال 14 is not multiple of 3. طب ليه 14 not multiple of 3؟ عشان ما فيش أي number times 3 هيديني 14. And that's why I circle number 14. Now I'll give you some time to solve problem 2 and 3 and we will discuss the answers all together when you are back. And now after you have finished, let's solve and review your answers together. We want to find number that is not multiple of 2. طيب the first number we have is 4. This one is very easy. Why? عشان كلنا عارفين إن ال 4 multiple of 2. هو مش 2 times 2 gives me 4 يبقى ال 4 multiple of 2. Right? طيب ال second number is 7. To find out if 7 multiple of 2 ولا مش multiple of 2. Ask yourself, هو في أي number times 2 gives me 7? Of course not. ده معناه إن 7 not multiple of 2. So I will circle 7 because it is not multiple of 2. So let's circle 7 all together. Let's move to problem number 3. في problem number 3 here كلنا شايفين إن ال multiples of 4 are what? Multiples of 4 are 8 وإيه كمان؟ و 12 multiple of 4 وكمان 16 multiple of 4 and 24 multiple of 4. All of these numbers في ال timetable بتاع 4, right? طيب what about 22؟ هي 22 multiple of 4؟ 22 is not multiple of 4. ليه؟ عشان 4 no number times 4 gives me 22. That's why I will circle 22. تعالوا كده let's move to problem number 4. Problem number 4 كلنا ملاحظين ان all the numbers are multiple of 5. هنلاقي ان 10 multiple of 5 وكمان 20 multiple of 5 و 25 multiple of 5. Except which number? Yes, except 17 is not multiple of 5. مش كلنا عارفين ان multiples of 5 لازم يبقى في ال ones place يا اما 0 يا اما 5. Okay, now let's move to the last one, which is problem number 5. In problem number 5, here we have the multiples of 6. طيب, we will notice that all the numbers we have are multiples of 6 except one number only, which is what? Yes, 16 is not multiple of 6. Why? Because there is no number, مفيش أي number هعمله times 6 gives me 16. That's why 16 is not multiple of 6. طيب, when I was answering this activity, لما كنت بعمل activity دي مع ال students بتوعي in my classroom, في منهم قالوا لي كان عندهم notes. في منهم لاحظوا إن there were some common numbers in some multiples. كان في common numbers في some multiples. For example, 3 and 2 are common among 6 و 12 و 18. و 4 and 2 are also common among 4 و 8 و 12. Okay? وكمان 3 and 5 are common among 15. There's something else. في حاجة تانية أنا مش عارفة أنتوا لاحظتوها ولا لأ. ال 12 is common among the multiples of all the numbers except 5. هنلاقي إن 12 common في كل ال numbers دي except number 5 only. طيب, why is that? We will notice كلنا هنلاحظ إن when we multiply 2 times 6 gives me 12, right? Okay. And when we multiply 3 times 4 also gives me 12. يبقى 12 multiple, المultiple is repeated. ليه؟ عشان ال 2 وال 3 وال 4 وال 6 كل دول ايه؟ factors of 12. يبقى 2, 3, 4 and 6 are factors of number 12. Alright. طيب, دلوقتي what do you think we will do if we want to find multiple؟ لو عايزين بقى to find multiple common among كل ال 5 numbers دي هعمل ايه؟ When I asked this question in my class, سمعت many ways of solving it. في مثلا students قالوا لي أو فكروا multiplying 5 by 12. مش أنا قلت ال 12 common في كل ال numbers except 5؟ عشان كده في students قالوا لي Miss, we can multiply 5 times 12. 5 times 12. To get what? To get 60. Right? طيب, وال 60 دي هلاقيها multiple of all these numbers في ال 3 وال 2 وال 4 وال 5 and 6. في جروب تاني من ال students قالوا لي إن ال 6 multiple of 2 and 3. وكمان قالوا ال 4 times 5 gives me 20. يعني 2 times 3 gives me 6. أهو 2 times 3 gives me 6. و 4 times 5 gives me 20. Right? طيب, لو عملنا 6 times 20. 6 times 20 equals to 120. Right? 120 برضو هلاقيها multiple of all the 5 numbers. يبقى كده we could find many multiples of the 5 numbers if we found multiples of 60 زي number 60 وزي number 120. Now let's find out how to use. تعالوا بقى نشوف هنستخدم ازاي ال idea of multiples to create equivalent fractions in bill part. تعالوا كده نشوفها على البورد. طيب, now we want to find the first 4 multiples of 2 and 3. كلنا عارفين ان multiples of 2 are moving by 2. تعالوا نكتب كده multiples of 2. multiples of 2 يعني 2 و 4 و 6 و 8 and so on. What about multiples of 3? multiples of 3 يعني moving by 3. تعالوا كده نكتب multiples of 3 which are 3, 6, 9, 12 and so on. after finding the multiples of 2 and 3 دلوقتي عايزين نعرف 2 over 3 and 4 over 6 are equivalent fractions or no. تعالوا نكتب كده 2 over 3 and 4 over 6 are they equivalent or no. طيب بطريقة تانية ايه relationship between the numerator and the denominator in each fraction 2 over 3 and 4 over 6. أنا متأكدة دلوقتي إن أنتوا كلكم لاحظتوا من المالتيبلز we wrote إن ال 4 is the multiple of 2 وكمان لاحظنا إن ال 6 is also multiple of 3 right؟ In other way مش أنا لو عملت 2 times 2 gives me 4 مش عملت 2 times 2 equals 4 وكمان لو عملت 3 times the same number which is 2 equals to 6 يعني 2 times 2 gives me 4 و 3 times 2 gives me 6. So and كمان if we double 2 over 3 we will get 4 over 6. مش معنى ان انا عملت 2 over 3 times 2 up and down ده معناه ان if I double 2 over 3 the answer will be 4 over 6. وده اللي احنا استنتجناه from the two fractions in two fractions are what? 2 over 3 و 4 over 6 they are equivalent fractions equals to each other. And now I am sure you remember متأكدة ان انتوا كلكم افتكرتوا من ال past lessons that ال 1 is the identity property of multiplication. ده معناه ان if I multiply any fraction by 1 gives me the same fraction. زي ما عملنا كده بالظبط. لو عملت 2 over 3 times 2 over 2 which represent whole 1 gives me 4 over 6 which is equivalent fraction. What we mean by that is 2 over 3 multiplied by 1 gives me 2 over 3. وكمان ممكن نكتب ال whole 1 in the form of fraction which is equal numerator و denominator like 2 over 2. يبقى تاني لو عملت 2 over 3 times 1 equals 2 over 3 ولو عملت 2 over 3 times 2 over 2 which represent 1 gives me 4 over 6 which is equivalent fraction ل 2 over 3. Now if we want to check we could draw models for the two fractions. طيب now after using the idea of multiples you could find a fraction equivalent to 2 over 3 and 4 over 6. ممكن نعمل 2 over 3 by 3 over 3. تعالوا نشوف كده لو عملت 2 over 3 times 3 over 3. The answer is what? 2 times 3 6 with 3 times 3 9. The answer is 6 over 9. وكمان we also multiply the same fraction times 4 over 4. ممكن برضو أعمل 2 over 3 times 4 over 4 which represent the whole 1. The answer will be 2 times 4 8 with 3 times 4 12. The fraction will be 8 over 12. We could write in 2 over 3 هي نفسها equals 4 over 6 when multiplying it by 2 over 2, right? ممكن نكتب 2 over 3 equals 6 over 9 when multiplying it by 3 over 3. And also 2 over 3 equals 8 over 12 when multiplying it by 4 over 4. طيب, but what can we do if I want to find equivalent fraction ل 4 over 5 using multiples? ممكن نعمل multiplying it by 2 over 2. تعالوا كده نعملها مع بعض. يبقى if I want to find equivalent fraction to 4 over 5, I can multiply it by what? 2 over 2. So 4 times 2 gives me what? 8. 5 times 2 gives me 10. ده معناه إن 8 over 10 equivalent fraction to 4 over 5. طيب, بعد ما أكدنا على idea of using multiples to find equivalent fraction, تعالوا بقى let's go to the activity. What is the missing multiple on page 52 on your school book? Let's see it all together. Okay, in this activity as you see, what is the missing multiple? مطلوب مننا إن احنا نحدد ال missing multiple أو ال part for the equivalent fractions. تعالوا كده نشوف in problem number 1. Here we want to know in numerator of the fraction which is equal ل 3 over 4. وكمان الدينومينيتور بتاعي 12 بتاع السكند fraction 12. طيب أول حاجة إحنا ملاحظين إن الدينومينيتور في الفيرست one كان 4 and becomes 12. 4 becomes 12 يبقى عملت إيه؟ Of course عملت 4 times 3. أول ما أعمل 4 times 3 يبقى لازم أعمل times 3 up again. أوكي؟ أنا اتفقت اللي هعمله في النومينيتور هو نفس اللي هعمله في الدينومينيتور والعكس. يعني 4 times 3 equals 12. So 3 times 3 gives me 9. يبقى النيو fraction بتاعي 9 over 12. Okay. And now let's solve with the same idea in problem number 2. Here's problem number 2. We want to find the missing multiple. الفيرست fraction عندي إيه؟ عندي 5 over 15. عايزة أعرف 5 over 15 equals 15 over what? Okay, now we will notice that the numerator can 5 and becomes 15. ال 5 عشان تبقى 15 عملت إيه؟ Yes, it is 3 times. يعني عملت 5 times 3 equals 15. To find the second one أو the denominator يبقى لازم أعمل 15 times 3 also. عملت 5 times 3 gives me 15 يبقى هعمل 15 times 3 to find the denominator. So 15 times 3 equals 45 يبقى النيو fraction بتاعي 15 over 45. Okay, now let's move to problem number 3. Problem number 3 we will look at the denominator. أول حاجة هبص عليها الدينومينيتور. ليه الدينومينيتور؟ عشان دي الحاجة النون بالنسبة لي. عندي في الفيرست denominator 25 السكند one 5. طب دلوقتي 25 became 5 يبقى تفتكروا هعمل ايه؟ Exactly I will use the division. عشان 25 becomes 5 becomes small يبقى I will use division. ده معناه if I multiply 5 times 5 gives me 25. يبقى أنا عرفت دلوقتي إن هعمل 25 divided by 5. 25 divided by 5 gives me 5. يبقى لازم أعمل برضو 20 divided 5. 20 divided by 5 gives me 4. يبقى new fraction بتاعي 4 over 5. Now from these problems we need to عايزين بقى دلوقتي نأكد على حاجة مهمة جدا. To find the missing numerator أو denominator لازم that makes the fraction equivalent. الأوبريشن اللي أنا هعملها في النومينيتور لازم تبقى نفس الأوبريشن اللي أنا هعملها في الدينومينيتور. So لو مثلا عملت times في النومينيتور لازم أعمل times في الدينومينيتور by the same number. ولو عملت divide في النومينيتور لازم أعمل برضو divide في الدينومينيتور by the same number. For example تعالوا كده ناخد example. لو الفراكشن اللي عندي 2 over 5. النومينيتور if the denominator is of the equivalent fraction is 20. زي الاكزامبل اللي عندنا هنا بيسألني 2 over 5 equals what over 20. طيب تعالوا نشوف كده هعمل ايه. انا متأكدة ان انتوا كلكم ملاحظين ان ال 5 became 20. طب ال 5 عشان تبقى 20 عملت ايه؟ Yes عملت 5 times 4. ما دام عملت في الدينومينيتور times 4 يبقى لازم اعمل برضو times 4 up في النومينيتور. يبقى 2 times 4 gives me 8. يبقى 8 is the numerator. So the fraction is 8 over 20. Now it's very easy for us to find the missing number, and I will give you now some time to think about problems 6 and 7 on page 53 in your school book. And when we will look at the answers after you have finished and when you get back. And now in problem 6, as you see here, the denominator is missing. يعني 12 over 18 equals 4 over what? طيب دلوقتي كلنا شايفين ان ال 12 becomes 4. Is it increased ولا decreased? 12 becomes 4 so it is decreased. يبقى أنا لازم أعمل divide. طيب ask yourself 12 divided by what gives me 4? Yes, 12 divided by 3 gives me 4. يبقى احنا هنعمل برضو الدينومينيتور divided by 3. مش احنا قلنا 12 divided 3 gives me 4، يبقى 18 divided by 3 gives me what? gives me 6. يبقى this is my answer. النيو fraction بتاعتي 4 over 6. Now let's move to problem number 7. Problem number 7, here we want to know in numerator of the equivalent fraction 10 over 70. يعني بيسألني 10 over 70 is what over 7. Okay, تعالوا كده نسأل نفسنا. ال 70 becomes 7, so it is decreased. يبقى I will divide. Divided by what? 70 divided by 10 equals 7. يبقى I must divide the numerator by 10. So 10 divided by 10 equals to 1. ده معناه إن 10 over 70 equals to 1 over 7. Okay, now we have learned how to use the multiples. اتعلمنا ازاي to use the multiples to create equivalent fractions. This will lead us to apply our knowledge of equivalent fraction to our daily life by answering the story problems we have on page 53. Here from problem number 9, we know that كلنا عرفنا إن هبة معاها 2 cakes أو عندها 2 cakes the same size. The first cake she cut it into 6 pieces. قطعت ال first cake ل 6 pieces. وكمان عملت decoration ل 2 pieces of this cake with chocolate. طيب وقطعت ال second one أو she cut the second one into 18 pieces. Okay. طيب السؤال بقى هنا بيقول لي إيه؟ If Heba wants to decorate part of the second cake to be equal to the 2 pieces، مش هي عملت decoration ل 2 pieces في الفيرست كيك، عايزة تعمل decorate للسكند كيك equal pieces with this first cake. طيب يبقى هي محتاجة how many pieces should she decorate؟ أول حاجة هحدد أصلاً الفراكشن اللي هي represent البيسز she decorated في الفيرست كيك. عايزة أعرف الفراكشن بتاعت الديكوريشن في الفيرست كيك. طيب مش احنا عارفين ان التوتال نمبر اوف بيسز في الفيرست كيك 6، يبقى هي دي الدينومينيتور بتاعتي. and she decorated only 2 pieces out of 6، يبقى الفراكشن بتاع الديكوريشن او decorated pieces 2 pieces out of 6. تعالوا نشوف كده السكند فراكشن representing the second cake. اوكي طيب السكند كيك كل البارتس بتاعتها 18، يبقى ده النمبر بتاع الدينومينيتور بتاعي. which is the number of the pieces of the whole cake. طيب الدينومينيتور ايه؟ ده بقى اللي انا عايزه اعرف. That's what we want to find and it represents the number of pieces Heba will decorate with chocolate. مش هو ده النمبر of decorated pieces؟ طيب مش احنا قلنا ان ال 2 cakes equal in size، يبقى ال 2 fractions دول are equal او equivalent. يبقى دلوقتي اقدر اقول ان 2 over 6 equals to what over 18. انا متاكده كلكم ان انتوا دلوقتي بتقولوا ميس 6 becomes 18. طب عملت ايه عشان ال 6 تبقى 18؟ يس انا عملت كده 6 times 3 equals 18. ما دام عملت 3 times 3 في الدينومينيتور يبقى لازم اعمل times 3 in the numerator. So 2 times 3 equals what? Equals 6, right? وده number of pieces هبة should decorate on the second cake. يبقى هبة المفروض تعمل decoration ل 6 pieces out of 18 pieces. With the same way you can solve problem number 10 and use the hint included to help you to answer it. Now we have learned تعلمنا ازاي using the multiples to create equivalent fractions وكمان find the missing parts ونطبق كل ده in our daily life through the story problems. Now we will head to the connect part on page 54. Okay, let's move to the connect part. Here, to learn in the connect part more about using the equivalent fraction in our daily life by doing the activity Nadia's cake. Now our friend Nadia عملت cake and divided it into 12 equal pieces. Okay, she divided it into 12 equal pieces. Okay, now 6 of the pieces have flowers و 4 of them are plain. Plain يعني سادة خالص with no decorations. وكمان 2 have something else أو decorated with small red hearts. دلوقتي I'll give you time to read the questions and think about the answers. And we will look at them when we are back. And now after you have finished, أنا متأكدة إن كلكم found the answers to the 4 questions. كلنا حلينا 4 questions. تعالوا كده let's check the answers all together. Let's see. Here in the first one, the first question, we know that 1/2 of the customers want pieces with flowers. يعني نص customers want pieces with flowers. تعالوا نعمل الفراكشن ده that represents the half. من اللي احنا قريناه في البروبلم ده عرفنا ايه؟ عرفنا ان الكيك divided into 12 pieces. 6 of them have flowers, right? يبقى 12 pieces يعني 12 of in the denominator و 6 of them decorated أو have flowers يبقى 6 parts out of 12 decorated with flowers. So 6 over 12 is equivalent fraction to half. عملنا ايه؟ We divide the numerator with denominator by 6, right? Because 12 is multiple of 6. مش أنا لو عملت divide 6 up and down يبقى 6 divided by 6 equal 1 و 12 divided by 6 equals 2, and that's why 6 over 12 is equivalent to 1/2. طيب the number of pieces is how many pieces? Yes, is 6 pieces. So the number of pieces is 6 pieces. Now if we count the decorated pieces, we will find that it is 6 pieces. In the second question, here is the second one. Here we know that 1/3 of the customers want pieces with no decorations, plain. 1/3 of them عايزين plain cake. طيب احنا عارفين ان pieces of the plain cake are ايه؟ are 4 pieces out of 12. يبقى الفراكشن بتاعي 4 over 12. We can say ان common factor between 4 وال 12 is what? is 4. يبقى لو عملت divided 4 up and down, 4 divided by 4 equals to 1 و 12 divided by 4 equals to 3. ده معناه ان 4 over 12 equals to 1 over 3. تعالوا نشوف كده في third question. We want to know the fraction that represent the remaining part. remaining parts بقى بتاعت الكيك بعد ما الكلينتس have taken the pieces decorated with flowers وخدوا pieces that are plain pieces. طيب what are left أو what are the pieces left؟ Okay, left اللي هم decorated with hearts. أنا عندي how many decorated pieces with hearts؟ عندي 2 pieces out of 12. يبقى left 2 pieces out of 12. أنا متأكدة إن أنتوا كلكم ملاحظين إن 2 factor of 12. طيب يبقى ممكن أعمل divide both numbers by what؟ ممكن أعملهم divided by 2 up and down. مشان لو عملت 2 divided by 2 gives me 1 ولو عملت 12 divided by 2 gives me 6. So the fraction is 1 over 6. تعالوا نشوف بقى الفورث question بتاعنا. Here is the fourth one. بيقول لي إيه الفورث question؟ بيقول لي we want to write the fraction representing the remaining parts if نادية cut the pieces left into 2. لو نادية خدت البيسز left وعملتها قطعتها ل 2. طب دلوقتي احنا المفروض نعمل ايه؟ ده معناه ان احنا we will double the remaining pieces. مش احنا خدنا remaining pieces وقسمناها نصين؟ So we will double these pieces. طيب مش احنا قلنا remaining pieces اللي هي 2 over 12 لما اعملها double ده معناه ان هعمل times 2 up and down. So 2 times 2 equals what? 4. 12 times 2 equals what? 24. So 4 over 24. وكلنا هنعرف ان 4 over 24 هي نفسها equals to 1 over 6. And now after learning how multiples can help us, ازاي المالتيبلز بتساعدنا to find the equivalent fractions, we could develop our skills by answering more practice problems found in practice and check your understanding found in the digital version of the book on the knowledge bank. And you can access it by scanning the code shown here or at the start of the lesson. تعالوا كده نشوف مع بعض البراكتس بورت. As you see here, now you can go to the practice port like this. Here you will see this is the practice port. هنلاقي practice أو lot of problems you can solve it. نقدر نمرن نفسنا ونحل lot of examples to understand the lesson very well. You can solve all this in your own way. وكمان you can check your understanding in this part. Okay, like you see here. Here are a lot of problems. You can check your understanding through it and solve it in your own way. And now at the end of our lesson, you can go back to the learning targets and evaluate yourselves. I make sure that you can explain the relationship between the multiples and the equivalent fractions and use them to answer the problems and find the missing parts, whether they are in the numerator أو في ال denominator. بعد ما رجعنا على learning targets, I want you to add a star in front of the target you are confident about, اللي انتوا واثقين ان انتوا عارفينها. And if there's something you are not sure you understand well, you can add a circle in front of it. You can then send us the challenges you still have on مدرستنا Facebook page in the comments section of the lesson. Now I hope you have enjoyed this lesson with me so much today. Thank you for your watching and see you next lesson.